What's that, honey?
Do you mind if I hide the princess in here?
Okay.
I'm gonna hide Elsa in here.
You are?
Yes? Mom won't find her in here because she's gonna find me.
Look at that. I think we got it working. Check, 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 check. Ha! I got it working. There's hope for me yet. Let's see. Hold on one second. All right, let's see. What do I want to do here? Ba-ba-ba. All right, good evening, everybody. It is the 5th of July. Today is Sunday. Hope you guys had a good day. It was another hot one. We had high temperatures once again in the low 90s with heat index numbers up over the century mark. Now, it wasn't quite as intense today as what we had over the last couple of days. Still hot enough, though. The humidity was really bad today, actually. But, overall, it was a better day. But what's happening here is, and we talked about this for the last several days, there's so much heat energy in the atmosphere right now. I mean, it's just awful with summer. When you look at some of the severe weather parameters again this afternoon, just like they were yesterday, I mean, they're ridiculously high for this part of the country. I mean, they're really, really high. They're very elevated right now. So it's not going to take much to get, any kind of ripple coming through in the middle or the upper levels of the atmosphere is going to start setting off storms, just like that, right? Boom. And so, and that's why we had been warning about 3 straight days of severe weather. We've already seen 2, and this is going to be the 3rd. Severe thunderstorm watch has been issued now by the National Weather Service. You can see it's up for the areas shaded there in orange, and right now it appears as if, hold on, let me see when the watch is up for. The watch is up until, it looks like 1 o'clock in the morning. Things are going to get going a little bit later. We've got a couple of individual cells that have started developing. You see these down towards Dover. We also have a couple guys out here in lower Bucks and lower Montgomery counties also moving into Philly Northeast. So these are kind of just stray thunderstorms out ahead of the main batch, which is out here. There's a tornado warning up for portions just north of Harrisburg. And eventually what you're going to see, this whole line will start to fill in. And then that'll push to the east, okay? Hi, baby. And then that's really what we're going to have to watch over the next couple of hours here. And the other difference is this time around, too, is these storms are not going to be flying by like they've been over the last couple of days. Last couple of days, the storms are moving 40, 45, 50 miles per hour. Today, they're going to be moving a little bit slower, and there's the possibility of training. Humidity is through the roof, so that's why we have the elevated flash flood threat. All right, if these storms are moving a little bit quicker... Oh, right here. Hold on. Paige, you want to say hi? Hold on, Paigey. Say hi to everybody right there. There you go. Right here. Say hi. Say hi, I'm Paigey.
Hi, I'm Piggy.
Yeah.
Princesses?
What's that?
We're missing a princess.
We're missing a princess.
I know where it is.
You know where it is?
But Mom has to find it.
Okay. So they're on like a little hunt, right? There's no princess in here except for my Paigey.
Oh, found her.
Yep,
Yeah.
found the princess.
Mom, no. I'll go close my eyes on the couch.
Please shut that
Are you
door.
trying to work?
Yeah, I'm live actually. Oh my gosh. That is, super close up. That is my little Paigey. So that's what we've been, let me fix the camera a little bit here. So, that's what we've been worried about over the last couple of days is the potential for huge winds with some of these thunderstorms. And I got to tell you, last night for a while, it got rough. It got really, really rough. We had winds. I know where I am here in South Jersey, we had winds going 58 to 62 miles per hour. And I mean, the trees in my backyard, I didn't know they were going to be left standing after that evening was through. I mean, honestly, it was a little scary at one point. We could end up seeing the same thing. If you guys have been following on my social media platforms, I've been posting all day again today. What the Storm Prediction Center is very concerned about here in the areas that you see shaded in orange is for these big wind gusts again, maybe 70 miles per hour. Remember, hurricane force winds begin at 74. So, we're talking about tremendous winds potentially doing damage. And then you've got a slower moving storm, so you get all this heavy rain, which could create flash flooding, especially areas north and west, okay? So north and west of the Delaware River. Let's do this. We got one warning up, and it's for this county here. It's for extreme southern Kent. Now, this is a special marine statement here, all right? So that's only really in effect for the boaters, if anybody's still out there. Let's see what it says. All right, it says at 7:05, strong thunderstorm located 10 nautical miles southwest of Woodland Beach or 13 nautical miles southwest of Ship John Shoal Light. It's moving north at 15 knots. The hazard is the wind. Small craft could be damaged and briefly higher winds and sudden higher waves. All right, so that's for this storm right here, okay? And so we have a severe thunderstorm warning up for this. 60-mile-an-hour winds and about 3/4 of an inch in diameter hail. So that's what's making this cell right here, this guy right there, severe. All right, and again, it's lifting off to the north just like that. So that is one of many severe thunderstorms that I expect today. All right, it's going to be another one of those days. All right, so there's a look at the loop. And this one actually doesn't look like it's moving all that slow, but notice what's going on to the southwest of Dover. You got all these cells starting to line up again. So again, it's the training part of this. Ready? Rainfall rates with a lot of these storms are going to approach 2 inches an hour. So let's say you get one of these storms moving over you, producing 2 inch an hour rainfall rates. Then you get another one moving over you, producing 2 inch an hour rainfall rates. Then maybe you get another one over you, pushing 2 inch an hour rainfall rates. Eventually you get to the point where the soil just can't hold it all. And you're going to start to see a lot of runoff. And I think that's going to be a really big problem out here. Areas north and west. The best flooding threat is going to be, let's say, from this line north. So it's right in through here in areas to the north. That's the biggest flood threat today, okay, that area. So, and again, a lot of it's the rocky terrain. This is also an area that has been pummeled over the last couple of days with heavy downpours. So not that you have a completely saturated soil, but you do have a soil that's not bone dry anymore. And, the two combined, if we get another round of very heavy downpours, will create some problems here with flooding. Now, remember the drill of flooding. All right, severe thunderstorm warnings. We all know what to do in a severe thunderstorm warning. You head inside, you stay away from windows, and you stay off of electrical appliances. And that's really it. All right, that's all you have to do. All right, if we get into a tornado warning, that's a completely different situation. I'll go over that here in a second. Flooding. All right, flood warnings are also a little bit different too, because if you live in an area that is susceptible to flash flooding, in other words, if you live in an area that during a rainstorm typically floods, you need to really pay close attention to what's going on over the next couple of hours. You see these thunderstorms flaring up by Trenton and out towards Warminster Township. You see how you have one round to the north in Trenton, then you have another round to the south developing across Philly Northeast. This is what's meant by training. All right, they're going to start moving over the same area, so you're going to start dropping a lot of water in any one particular area in a short period of time. So if you live in a poor drainage area, if you live near smaller creeks, smaller streams, a highly urbanized area, you just need to kind of be on guard here over the next couple of hours. Remember, in a flash flood warning, you just want to move to higher ground. If you're in an area that typically floods, you never want to drive through floodwaters. And it's pretty basic. It still amazes me how many people actually do this. But you don't want to drive through floodwaters for two reasons. One, you just simply don't know the depth of the water. All right. And two, you don't know the condition of the road, right? Underneath the water. You just don't. It could be washed out. So think about it. If it's washed out, your car is going down. It's going in that ditch. And then all of a sudden the car starts filling up with water. It's a mess. You could potentially lose your life in a situation like that. It's not worth it. Find another route. Look, in this part of the world, with this heavily populated area that we live in, trust me, there are several ways. There's more than one way to get to where you need to go. So if you see floodwaters, turn around and find that other way. Barricades, that's another thing. When I forecast down in Florida, I was stunned how many people would just go around the barricade as if it was no big deal and still travel down the road. The barricades are up for a reason. That's like the township's way of saying, stop, no more, don't go any farther. And yet people, they still do it. So come on, let's use our heads, all right? Let's use our heads here this evening, and this way nobody gets hurt. All right, and same thing with the strong gusty winds, all right? When that warning, look, don't disregard any warning tonight. A warning gets issued, you take it seriously. You get inside, all right, and you do what you have to do to keep yourself and your family safe. All right, that's the name of the game here over the next couple of hours. This is going to be another round of violent weather pushing through. All right, here's the tornado warning. Now, this is well west of the Philadelphia television market. Here's a look at the far western counties here. There's Lehigh County, Berks County, Lancaster County. Here's Lebanon County. So here's where oh, wow, I didn't even realize it was for the downtown Harrisburg area. All right, let's see. Let's see that tornado warning. All right, so the tornado warning is up for northeast Cumberland County and south central Pennsylvania, southwestern Dauphin County and south central Pennsylvania, and east central Perry County in south central Pennsylvania. It's up until 7:45, so about 25 more minutes. At 7:13, severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Wurtsville, moving east at 20. Radar indicated rotation. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. All right, so that's another thing. That's and what's interesting here too is if we go over. All right, if we go over here, let me pan out. If we go over to the outlooks, there is no. Look at that. That's the tornado. Wow. That's the tornado outlook for today. There's nothing. That's it. So, wow, that's here's the categorical. All right, now one thing that you're going to notice is there's no level 3 today. Yesterday we had a level 3, which was in, let's say, this area here. All right, and it went a little bit farther to the south. But we had the enhanced threat here, the level 3 out of 5, for the winds up to 70 miles per hour, and we got it. All right, we definitely got that. Today, we don't have that. We have a level 2. Now, a level 2 is frequent gusts to 60 miles per hour. That's sort of like your ordinary thunderstorm, okay? So we do have that to deal with today, but there could be isolated gusts up to 70 because of the tremendous amount of heating that we saw in the atmosphere again today. So there's the categorical. There's the tornado threat, although we do have a tornado warning now for downtown Harrisburg, all right? There's your wind threat. Very, very similar to what we saw yesterday. That reddish, pinkish, whatever the heck color that is, that's your bullseye right there, okay? If we're going to get 70-mile-an-hour winds today, it's going to be in that area. Now, for the Philadelphia television market, it includes all of Salem County, western Cumberland County, most of Gloucester County, or at least the western half of it, most of Philadelphia County, all of Chester and Lancaster counties, and a southern piece of Montgomery and Berks counties. York County is in all of this as well. Southern Dauphin, southern Lebanon counties out there in the Harrisburg television market, all of the Baltimore television market, and all of the D.C. television market. Dover, Kent counties in this, Newcastle County and Delaware also included in this. So that is it's a pretty large area of where we could end up seeing winds 60 to 70 miles per hour. What I would do, this is what I would recommend, very similar to what we saw yesterday. All right, the storms are still pretty far away. We do have, I mean, if you live in, let me zoom in just a little bit. All right, gosh, this looks like, outside of this stuff here north of Philadelphia, this is almost a repeat of yesterday, right? So what I would say right now, if you live in this area here, hopefully you know where you live on a map, which, by the way, it's important that you know where you live on a map, okay? So try and figure that out. And I don't mean that in a smart aleck type way, but it's important to know where you live on a map, because when we start getting into some really intense storm coverage here where we got warnings all over the place, tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, you're going to see me pointing to things on a map and reading town names and landmarks and roads. And it's important that you know where you live, because if I mention something that you live close to, you're going to know it's close by and you've got to, move to a substantial shelter. All right, but anyway, if you live in this area here that I just circled, you've got some time. The storms are out to the west and also to the northeast. If there's anything out in your yard right now that could be just kind of tossed, are thrown around like a projectile because of strong winds, get out there right now and bring it inside or tie it down. You've got time right now. All right, if you live out in through here, let's say extreme western Lancaster County and Lebanon County and southeast Dauphin County, you're running out of time quickly. But in this first circle here, you've got some time. All right, so go ahead, get it done, and just kind of hunker down. This will be the last. This will be the last of the really rough stuff. This is 3 days in a row of strong to severe thunderstorms. The main threat then kind of transforms overnight into a flash flood threat, and then that's for tomorrow too. Tomorrow we could have some flash flood issues to deal with. So it's not only later this evening and tonight, but also tomorrow. We could get a nice 36-hour stretch here where we're dealing with a lot of flash flood warnings. All right. With that being said, we still have the flood watch that's up for the I-95 corridor in areas north and west. So let's set the radar in motion for you. Right now, we've got the severe thunderstorm warning for Dover and northern portions of Kent County and Delaware and just a sliver of Newcastle County. And then we have some more thunderstorms north of Philadelphia, pushing into Philly northeast and lower Bucks County. Looks like Levittown, seeing some heavy thunderstorms, Ben Salem. You know, we haven't zoomed up in here. Let's go into this part of the area first, and let's see what's going on here. All right, let me get a. There we go. All right, so yeah, Ben Salem. Let me hit the stop button. Shoot, cancel. I'm hitting buttons all over the place. All right, that's the latest right there. Okay, so we got heavy weather right now in Ben Salem, heavy weather in Bristol, heavy weather in Florence, over on the other side of the Delaware River, Burlington. All right, right around Burlington Township High School, big thunderstorms there. Willingboro, the skies are turning pitch black to your north. Okay, same thing with Delran. Delran, you probably have some light rain. Northern portions of Delran, southern portions of Delran, you're probably just cloudy. Look at that big cell over Philly northeast. Abington seeing some big weather. Lower Makefield Township, heavy thunderstorms here around Ewing. This is now in Mercer County. There's Trenton right there. So, and you got this cell here around Furlong, Buckingham. Looks like it's just east of Chalfont and Doylestown. So these are big rain producers, okay? These are big rain producers. Here's a look at the rainfall rates. These are huge. I mean, look at this. That yellow there is about an inch to an inch and a half an hour. Look at Bristol. That's easy, an inch and a half to 2 inches an hour. These are big rainmakers, all right? So again, this is why I'm stressing that what you want to do here is just, if you live in an area that floods, okay, just keep paying close attention. Because if you're already picking up this kind of rain, and this has only just begun, I mean, the line is still out to the west. We are just now scratching the surface. We are just now getting going. And if we're already seeing rainfall totals like this and more storms are yet to come, there's going to be flash flood problems, okay? I can promise you that. So just, again, you want to pay close attention to what's going on over the next couple of hours. A little bit farther to the south, here's another look at the rainfall rates. Look at that. That's a big downpours. They're over 2 inches an hour on the eastern shores of Maryland there. Not quite over the county, over the state line in Delaware, but it's close. It's northwest of Greensboro. I'm not sure what county that is in Maryland, but as far as the Dover area is concerned, it looks like the heaviest was off to the northwest. Smyrna getting hit pretty good. All right, and then that's coming, moving over the water. And then, of course, we got the big thunderstorms out here. All right, let's go back over. Let's go back over to the reflectivity. There it is right there. All right, so that's what's going on right now. We're kind of watching and rating. Here is another look at the mesoscale discussion that was issued by the Storm Prediction Center. Now, they went ahead and they already issued the watch, okay? So the watch is up until, I believe it was 1 o'clock in the morning. So we're expecting, let me double check here. I don't want to give you guys the wrong information. Thunderstorm watch up until 1 o'clock in the morning. The tornado threat is low. Look at the percentage on the tornado threat. This is important. All right, but you know, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we have a tornado warning right now out in Harrisburg. And this is why I'm always stressing you can never say never. Even if it's a low threat, it's not a no threat. All right, there's still always that chance. Right now, percentage-wise, the Storm Prediction Center is saying, look, there's only about a 10% chance that any one particular area sees a tornado tonight. Yet we've got a tornado warning up for the Harrisburg area, okay? So, again, the percentages are low, but it's a percentage nonetheless. 60-mile-an-hour winds, it's a moderate threat, 50%. 75-mile-an-hour winds, hurricane-force wind speeds, also on the low side, and hail is also on the low side too, all right? But again, still a threat. Let's go back over to the outlooks. Speaking of hail, here was the hail threat right here. Not much. All right, so it looks like tornado, that's hail, that's tornado. This is wind. This is all wind. That's the name of the game here, okay? This is all going to be about strong straight line winds. That's the categorical. Level 2 out of 5. Here's a look at tomorrow. Tomorrow, this is just a general thunderstorm threat, severe weather, Baltimore and south. All right, so we're going to catch a little bit of a break tomorrow. The issue tomorrow is going to be widespread flash flooding. We're going to have to watch that, okay? Let's see if we can fast forward. Here's a look at the modeling. All right, so this is what it's showing right now. It doesn't have a very good handle on what's going on because clearly we don't have all that up towards, at least I don't think we do. I haven't looked that far. No. All right, so we don't have, you can see what's going on, all right? So watch the modeling. The modeling has all kinds of stuff up here during the 7 o'clock hour, okay? So that's what it shows. Ready? Yep, what did I do? Let's see. There we go. All right, so what? There's a set of, wow. All right, so do you see how these, and this is what's, I'll slow the speed of this down. But this is what it's showing over the next couple of hours. All right, that's 7. Now remember, we don't have this up here, all right, up towards Allentown. That is not there. So that means the modeling is not initializing completely 100% accurately. So whether or not this happens down the road right here remains to be seen. That's 9 o'clock according to the model. That's 10. That's 11. That's midnight. That's 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. At that point, things are really settling down. Just a little light rain. 3, 4, 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, getting ready for work tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. You got some showers out there. 8 a.m., 9 a.m., here come the downpours. 10 a.m. tomorrow, 11, midday. Also notice this time around, the heaviest is this way, okay? Right here on the coastal plain, all right? This evening, the modeling has it here, all right? It shifts. It all shifts south and east as we head into the day tomorrow, okay? So this is 12 o'clock lunchtime tomorrow. There's 1, 2 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon, big thunderstorms down at the Jersey Shore. 4 in the afternoon, 5 in the afternoon, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Here we go. Flash. Yep, this is what's going to happen here. We got a flash flood warning up now. Okay? And this is exactly, you're going to start seeing a lot of this. Okay? So I would, again, this is why I'm stressing here. We saw what the rainfall rates were. We saw how much rain has already fallen. Here's a look at the first flash flood warning. This flash flood warning was literally just issued here. It's for southwestern Mercer County in central New Jersey, northwestern Burlington County in southern New Jersey, southeastern Bucks County in southeastern Pennsylvania, southeastern Montgomery County in southeastern Pennsylvania, and northern Philadelphia County in southeastern Pennsylvania. It's up until 11:30 this evening. Doppler radar estimates indicate thunderstorms producing heavy rain across the warned area. Between a ½ inch and an inch has already fallen. The expected rainfall rate is between 1 and 2 inches an hour. Additional rainfall amounts of a ½ inch to 1.5 inches are possible in the warned area. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. Again, think about where we're located here. Okay, you see this area here? This is a highly urbanized area. How many of you have been in Northeast Philly? Right? Everyone, right? It's all roads. It's all asphalt. It's all sidewalks. There's nowhere for the water to go, okay? And so when you start getting rainfall rates like this, 1 to 2 inches an hour, and you start getting the training like we were talking about, storms moving over the same areas over and over and over again, you're not giving the water a chance to recede. See that? So here comes the first line, there's the second line. All right? And so they put the flash flood warning up. All right, so right now, just to catch you guys up to speed, we have a severe thunderstorm watch up until 1 o'clock in the morning. We have a flood watch up. We still have the heat advisory up. We have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings up, one for extreme western Lancaster County, one for northern Kent County in Delaware. We have the tornado warning up for the Harrisburg area. All right, it's up for downtown Harrisburg. And now we have the flash flood warning up for northern Philadelphia County and lower Bucks County. All right? Oh, this is going to be a crazy night because we are just now getting going. It's only 7:30. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right, like I said, like I've been telling you all day long here, take every warning seriously tonight. Okay, winds, flooding, whatever the case may be, whatever warning gets issued, please, 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 please take it very, very seriously. The winds last night were just absolutely ferocious, and there's a chance that they're going to be like that again today. All right, so let's pan out. Let's go a little bit wider here. Here's your first severe thunderstorm warning. All right, looks like that just updated in front of you. All right, it's got to be for winds. Let's see. 60-mile-an-hour winds, radar indicated. All right, so here we go, guys. Ready? 7:32, severe thunderstorm was located. All right, so this is confirmed. It is severe. Located over Jenkintown, or 7 miles north of Philadelphia, moving northeast at 10. It's only moving at 10 miles per hour. It's a very slow-moving storm. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and penny-sized hail are being reported. Damage to roofs, siding, trees, and power lines possible. In addition to damaging winds, a lot of cloudy ground. Lightning is occurring with this storm. Move indoors immediately. Remember, if you can hear thunder, you're close enough to be struck by lightning. Locations that are going to be impacted, okay? I'm going to do this slow. Philadelphia. Remember, these are locations that are about to become hit, are about to be impacted by this storm. Philadelphia, Bensalem, Bristol, Doylestown, Palmyra, Hatboro, Ambler, Jenkintown, Beverly, Rockledge, Yardley, Newtown, Tullytown, Abington, Langhorne, Bryn Athen, Ivyland, Wissanoming, Feasterville, Trevose, and Tacony. All right, those are the storms. This right here is the most intense part of the storm right here. Let's go over to, I'll tell you what, let's flip it over to velocity. Wow, we do have some rotation here too. Gosh, I'll tell you what, for lack of a, all right, so you see that right there? Geez, for lack of a tornado outlook, I mean, there's no tornado outlook today. We've already got one tornado warning in downtown Harrisburg, and now we've got rotation with this cell here. So it's just, let's zoom into that. There's no warning, all right? This is just a severe thunderstorm warning, but we've got some rotation here. So let's see where we are. All right, this is approaching Jenkintown. It's broad. It's very, very broad and weak right there. See the green? All right, see the green on the red? It's very, very weak, but it's there. It's there. There it is. All right, we're going to have to keep, let's come back to this. We're going to have to keep our eye on this. All right, Jenkintown, heads up. You guys need to be sheltered right now, okay? You're living in Jenkintown and you're listening to my voice. You need to be sheltered right now, okay? It is a severe thunderstorm warning with confirmed winds of 60 miles per hour. It looks like we do have some rotation with this storm, though. Abington Township, all right? You're anywhere near there? Is this the northeast extension? Let me see. No, northeast extension is west. So what road is this? What is that main road there? I guess that's... I forget the name of this road. There it is right there. Oh my gosh, the name escapes me. It's the Broad Street. It's Broad Street, right? The one that goes all the way down into Philadelphia. I believe that's Broad Street. I think it has a different name up here though, but it's the same road. Well, actually, it's U.S. Highway 611. All right, but that's what we're going to be watching right there. So Willow Grove, all right, Abington Township, Jenkintown. All of you guys, you need to be sheltered right now, okay? 60-mile-an-hour straight line winds, and we got a little bit of rotation going on here as well. There's a look at the cell right there. We were talking about this earlier. Big, big rain producers. Look at the rain totals now. I mean, we're approaching 2.5, 3 inches here with this one cell in Abington Township. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of flooding with this. A lot of flooding. Set that in motion. Let's see what else we got going on here. They still got that tornado warning up. Let's go take, you know what, guys? Let's go take a look at that. Let's go take a closer look at that and see what's going on here. They are starting to chip away at it. Man, this cell's not moving either. Tornado warning remains in effect here. All right, so there's no confirmation. The radar is indicating rotation, but there's no confirmation on this, and I don't have any damage. It does have a considerable tag attached to it, though, for 70-mile-an-hour straight line winds. Boy, this is a mess out here. I hope this weakens. There's a look at the velocity, but you know what? That's coming out of Fort Dix. Let's go to the State College site. Oh, yes, there we go. Do you see the rotation? See it? See how bright that is? All right, so that's what it's going to end up looking like. All right, if we ever get, hopefully we don't see this, but if we get into a situation here where we start popping tornado warnings, that's what you look for. This is a very broad rotating area, okay? It does not appear to me that there would be anything on the ground. But again, you can never say never. I would, in the Harrisburg area, if you're listening to me, I would take this very seriously and be sheltered right now. But when you start tightening this up here, all right? In other words, the pixels get really, really tight like this, then you've got some problems. Then it's usually confirmed. But there's clear rotation here. All right, that's why the warning's been issued. Remember, it also has the considerable tag on it. All right, the considerable tag is for, where is it? Right here. There it is right there. It's for 70-mile-an-hour winds. See that? This is a mess out here, guys. These poor folks. Hopefully this stuff weakens before it makes it into our neck of the woods, because we certainly don't want to be dealing with this kind of stuff. With that being said, western portions of Lancaster County under the severe thunderstorm warning. You see that right there? Elizabethtown is included in it. Columbia is included in it. York, I forget the name of this man. Is this 83? It is 83. So if you're traveling on 83 from Shrewsbury to York all the way up to Manchester and eventually getting into the Harrisburg area, it's going to be a very rough drive. You got big, big thunderstorms out here. Okay? Let's go back over to the Fort Dix site. There it is right there. All right, thankfully, all right, this warning, I'm going to, look, I don't know what, if you're out in the Smyrna area, if you're in northern Kent County and extreme southeastern Newcastle County, the storm's done. All right, you guys can, go back to doing whatever you're doing. It's out over the open waters of the Delaware Bay now and moving away. Just remember, though, all right, if you hear thunder, if you can still hear thunder, remain indoors. Okay? If you can hear thunder, you're close enough to be struck by lightning, but the storm is clearly done. All right, they should be expiring this warning soon. So that's all that's going on there. Jersey Shore. Not much going on there. Otherwise, we've got this guy right here. All right, I'll be back in 1 second, guys. I got to get a bottle of water. All right. All right, I'm back. And what I think I'm going to do here is, we're in a situation very similar to last night, okay, where, we're kind of waiting. We're kind of waiting for this line out here to the west. Now, it looks like they dropped the tornado warning, which is good. Remember I was showing you how broad the rotation was? It was very, very broad. It wasn't tight enough. So it may have been tight at one point, which is why they issued the warning. But when we got to it, when I circled the area, it was very, very broad. So they made the right call by discontinuing that. It looks like they finally discontinued the warning out there towards Dover, too. That was also the right call. So right now, the only severe thunderstorm warning that we have in the Philadelphia television market is the one right now for Philly Northeast, lower Bucks County, and a sliver of lower Montgomery County. All right, that's it. And that's for strong gusty winds. We're also seeing a lot of rain right now with that too. There's a flash flood warning up for that area as well. That's really it at the moment. Okay, so we're going to watch this stuff out here to the west. And we're going to wait and see what this does over the next couple of hours. Now, remember what happened last night. It almost looks like somebody hit the record button yesterday and we're watching this all over again, other than the stuff north of Philadelphia, because this is exactly what happened yesterday. And if you remember, the storms were very, very beefy. They were very, very strong. We had big radar returns showing up out by Lancaster and everything, and then that shifted east. It did wind down. It fizzled out a little bit as it approached Philadelphia, and then bam, all of a sudden it exploded again once it moved across the state line, and then it moved into interior South Jersey. All of a sudden we had these huge winds again. So I'm wondering if we're going to see something very, very similar. Lancaster County took it on the chin yesterday. Tons of damage reports out there. A lot of trees down, a lot of power outages, tens of thousands of power outages out there. So there was even some structural damage. There was no I didn't see any confirmed tornadoes. It was all straight line wind. But So again, remember that the line was very, very impressive out there, and then it weakened towards Philadelphia, and then it exploded again in New Jersey. So I'm wondering if that's going to happen again today, and we're just going to have to watch a couple hours. Now, what I can do here is I don't want to sit live and talk for another 3 hours because that's probably how long this is going to take. So what I can do is, one, I'm going to lose my voice. And two, it's just, you get repetitive, right? It's boring. There's no tornado warnings. But my goal is to keep you guys safe. So what I'll do here is I'll rest my voice. I'll put this in full. All right, so this is constantly streaming so you guys can see this. Now, and then I'll come back in like maybe, 15 minutes or 20 minutes and just check on everything and, maybe do another 10, 15 minutes and then, rest again until this line comes over the area. I'm just looking at this. This is yesterday all over again. It's exactly what this is. Now, the good thing is with how we have this radar set, all right, this updates right in front of your eyes. Every warning that's issued, every watch that's issued, every mesoscale discussion that's issued, it's going to update right in front of you, okay? So remember, severe thunderstorm warnings are the bright yellows. If you happen to see a tornado warning, it's going to be a bright red polygon, all right, like we saw out in Harrisburg. This stuff right here, all right, you see these counties right here? You see all these counties here shaded in this, orange color? That's the severe thunderstorm watch, all right? These are the warnings right here, the bright yellows. See this? And look at this. Now we've got a rotation report. Let's stop this real quick. Let's see what this is all about right here. See it? Loosely rotating wall cloud about 20 miles west. I'm going to have to keep our eye on that. Definitely going to have to keep our eye on that. If you got a wall cloud, you're already rotating. All right, so you're already spinning out here if you got a wall cloud. Got a flash flood warning out there. That's over 2.5 inches right there. Same thing with East Berlin. That's over 3 inches. All right, here's Lancaster to the east. Lidditz up and through here. So this is right now the heaviest rains, the heaviest storms are west of 83, heading north into York and Harrisburg. Man, big downpours. Big downpours. All right, so remember in this area here, we have a flash flood warning. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning. There's a look at the thunderstorms. Wind right now is the primary threat. Let me read what they have on this one. And that's it. It's really the only storm out there right now. It's a kind of a cluster. The warning on this one expires at 8:30, so it's still about 40 minutes from now. Wow, it's only moving northeast at 10 miles per hour. It's barely moving at all. Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of rain here. So listen, if you guys are listening to my voice and you live, I'm gonna start calling out some names here of towns. Ben Salem, Falls Township, Lower Makefield Township, Richboro, Warminster, Abington, Lower Southampton. Let's see, White Marsh, Abington, Bryn, Athen, Maple Glen, any one of these areas here, and you live in it's an area that is prone to flooding, you got to be really careful here with this because it's not moving. This line, let's set it in motion for you. This is an hour loop. It's not moving. If anything, it looks like it's back building off to the southwest. See that? Look towards the lower left-hand corner. You see it back building? See that? Flood warning's already up, the flash flood warning, as it should be. That area, if you guys are listening to me and you live in that area, you got to pay very close attention to this. Let's see what else is going on. All right, now we're zoomed into, this is Cumberland County here. Fortescue is this little, see, it almost looks like a little peninsula down there. Right, just to the west of there is Fortescue. I'll draw it. Fortescue is right about here somewhere. Now you got some thunderstorms off to the northwest. Hopewell Township, Deerfield. That's where Lori and I got married. Upper Deerfield Township at Running Deer Golf Resort, right about here. Very pretty country out that way. Well, now it's going to look very, very dark as these thunderstorms start getting going. All right, no warnings. Although this is starting to get better organized here now as it gets ready to move over, because it's kind of in the marshy areas there in Salem, Cumberland County. But as it approaches Deerfield, it does, and it starts getting closer to the radar, the Fort Dix site, it does look like it's starting to get a little better organized. So we'll have to watch that. All right, remember the air is very, very unstable out here across interior South Jersey. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a moment now, and I'm going to answer some of these questions because I see the questions are starting to mount up. So let's do that. All right, so you're going to hear some silence as I'm reading, okay? But I'm here. All right, let's see. Let me get to the first question. Oh, we got a lot of questions. Let me get to the first question. Robin says Deerfield is lovely. It is. It's beautiful country out that way. What about Phoenixville? So I can't, guys, it's going to be really, really hard. I can't answer everybody's town. There's a million towns in this viewing area, right? What I can tell you, look at the radar closely, all right? Look at the last couple of frames. You see how they're just popping everywhere? The radar is going to continue to fill in over the next couple of hours. Everybody is going to get hit at some point tonight, all right? There's the likelihood that everybody gets hit at some point. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have a severe thunderstorm. It could just be a thunderstorm with some downpours. You might not even get any flooding, but everybody will likely get hit to some degree tonight, okay? Nobody, William's saying, is Camden County in the clear? No. Nobody is in the clear tonight, okay? Severe thunderstorm watch is up. There's a mesoscale discussion up. We have a flood watch up. We already have flash flood warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings. Nobody is in the clear tonight, okay? Again, everybody, that's what everyone's doing. So I'm going to save, myself some time because everyone wants the backyard forecast. Everybody is fair game. Everybody's going to get hit tonight. Let's see. How's Tabernacle looking? Yeah, see, Warminster. Okay. Chris says, thought you were taking a break. I know I was, right? Loretta says, what is back building? That's a good question. So back building is a thunderstorm that kind of, let me zoom in because we've got a visual on this and I can show you. This way it doesn't sound like I'm talking gibberish. You know what I mean? All right, so what I want you to do is, all right, you see this here? You see this line? Okay, so this line is moving like this, okay? As this lifts to the north, you don't see anything behind it, okay? This is pulling out and lifting to the north. Back building would be if this will lift to the north and you have more storms developing behind it and they lift to the north, okay? So with that being said, watch what happens back here in this loop. You're going to see these thunderstorms flare up in this area here, they lift to the north, and then they start back building here again. All right, or in other words, redeveloping. All right, so watch. See it? See it? That's back building. That's how you get training. All right, situations like that. The storms just keep developing, and they keep moving over the same areas over and over and over again. A lot of times they're developing on a boundary or an area where the winds are converging. And so there could be a boundary sitting there, who knows? But that's what back building is. And that's how you get in serious trouble when it comes to flooding, because it keeps raining. It doesn't stop. And then you have when the parent storm finally clears, another one develops. And then when that one finally clears, another one develops. And it just keeps going down the line, just like that. That is back building. Robin says, "Do you comment in Cecil County?" Yes, I can. I can take care of you guys in Cecil County. Cecil County is this one right here. As a matter of fact, it would probably be in my best interest to pay close attention to it, because that's the county just out of the Philadelphia television market, right? So yes, I can definitely take care of Cecil tonight. William's saying, "Is this due to saturated air mass?" I'm assuming you mean the back building. That's there could be a couple of things that are producing that. Usually what happens is there's a boundary there, or a convergent zone, and that's how you get something like that. Here's a look at the rainfall totals right here. Pretty impressive out towards Harrisburg, and pretty impressive here. But that's it up to this point. Velocity. You had a couple of rotating storms out here that's west of our area. That's really it. These are just heavy thunderstorms right now. Right now, the primary threat is for 60-mile-an-hour winds. All right, now I'm taking a break. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna let this stream. I'm just gonna keep letting it play so you guys can see what's going on. Okay, and Paige's getting ready for bed, so I wanna chat with her for a little bit, and then I'll be back. Okay. right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a bunch of things up here because that line is starting to look pretty nasty out there to the west. I got a feeling we could see some pretty good winds come through here. All right, so how was everybody's weekend? What'd you guys do? I never saw lightning in my life like I saw last night, and I don't care if I ever see it again. That's what Cheryl says. Cheryl, those storms were violent. Cheryl Bennett. I mean, they were, we're tracking them, right? And then when they got here, they finally showed up in my neighborhood, and I knew they were warned out to the west, and I knew they were popping at least 60-mile-an-hour winds because we were seeing the reports. But I guess it had been a while. It had been a while since I personally saw a 60-mile-an-hour wind because I'm watching the trees bend. I'm watching the Delaware River suddenly form waves on one of the cameras. The Back Bay in Ocean City was suddenly forming waves because of how windy it got. I mean, it was kind of scary there for like 5-10 minutes. And this was just straight line winds. Severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled now for lower Bucks County and Philly Northeast. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to that, but we still have the flash flood warning up for that area. All right, so no more severe thunderstorm warning. Winds are under 60, or under 58, but we still have the flash flood warning right there. All right, what else do we got here? Hiding all weekend from the heat. You know what, Em? That's exactly what I've been doing. That's kind of, we've been getting out. Lori and I have been getting out there, but I don't like to even do anything out in this. When it's this bad, when it's this muggy. When your heat index is a gazillion degrees, nobody feels like doing anything. And so, I was kind of hiding too. Yesterday was a nice, easy, relaxed day for us. And today has been, we got some chores done today, but, we went to a little barbecue. Actually went to a barbecue yesterday and a barbecue today. So we did get out there a little bit, but it's not like we went to the shore. I was not going to the shore this weekend. Oh my gosh, no. Everybody that I talked to said they were going. And when I look at my family's down there right now, and they said there's just nowhere to park and that it was just a mob scene, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to avoid that. Sandy says, I always worry about all the trees. When they come down, no power. Yeah, and you got to watch where they come down too, Sandy, because if they start falling on cars or houses, now you got some serious damage. Joy says, loud thunder, some electrical fluttering, and I even viewed a bolt of lightning. Joyce, is that today or was that yesterday? Let's see. Linda says, my sister is in Lower Southampton, which is 15 minutes, I guess, west of me. She had the sun out for about 20 minutes, and then no rain. She had thunder. Then the sun came out again. Then it clouded over, and now she's got rain. So it's kind of sounds like they're going back and forth. Loretta says, sounds like we will be okay now, though, from what Chris Sowers just said. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I did not say anybody's going to be okay tonight. I said everybody needs to pay attention tonight. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. We've got a flood watch. We've got a severe thunderstorm watch. We've already got reported winds up to 65 and 70 miles per hour out to the west. We already had one tornado warning out by Harrisburg, so I'm not sure what you're referring to, but everybody needs to be on guard tonight as this comes through, all right? The Storm Prediction Center has us in a level 2 out of 5, so it's an elevated risk for severe weather. They also have us in an elevated risk for flash flooding tonight, so nobody is in the clear tonight, all right? Until all of this gets through. Now, there's a boundary, all right? There's a front that's going to be kind of dropping in like this, all right? Coming down. That front will eventually put an end to all this oppressive heat and humidity, all right? Especially the humidity. It's going to start feeling a little bit better out there. Still got a few hours to go. We still got some time to go, though, before that happens. But anyway, the whole process of this front coming through and changing air masses, Mother Nature just doesn't really like that, and so the result ends up being what you see here. Widespread thunderstorms, heavy at times, some of them severe, drenching downpours and lightning. You know what? Let's look at observations and see where we're at. How about we do that? We'll flip it over. It's nice to see some 80s out there for a change. Here's the dew point. Yeah, see the dew points are ugh. Although I got to tell you, these are better. At one point yesterday, I believe my dew point was 78. So this is actually better. I can hang with this. But it'll be nice to oh, let me get this out of here. It would be nice to let's see where the break is. Where is the break in the dew point? Right there to the north. See it? All right, so your boundary, that means your boundary is still up here. Okay? So that's the boundary that'll be dropping down. See that? Oh my gosh, this is beautiful up here. Wow, look at the 50s. And this is why Lake Placid is right here. All right, it's right around here. This is why we go, it's right there in the Adirondacks. This is why we go up there. It's about 2,000 feet in elevation. Gorgeous country up that way. It doesn't get hot. It rarely gets humid. It's just wonderful up there. We love going there, especially in the winter with all the snow and the cold. We go skiing and ice skating. It's fun. It's a nice little Olympic village. It's a nice travel, too. I forget what road this is, the main road. I think it's 87. Really, really peaceful drive. Once you get past Albany here, it's very, very scenic. Mountains and, valleys and roads and lakes and streams. I mean, it's really, really scenic. It's pretty. But there's your boundary. All right, so we got to get that boundary through, and then we can start. There's the temperatures, too. Now, you have no humidity and temperatures in the mid-70s up there. That is good, good stuff. Still got 94 in D.C. Yow. Temperatures aren't as hot today, thank goodness. There's your heat index. Heat index surely is. Jeez. There's no real crazy heat index numbers today, though. I guess no one's complaining, right? I don't see anything wild. I mean, Dallas is at 100. Seeing it. I wonder what the air temperature is out there. 94, 91. Let's go to the dew points. Yeah, see, Florida. Oh, gosh, look at Charleston. Woo! I'm going to circle that one. Look at that dew point. Yeah, that's pretty awful. Wow. That is pretty awful. Look, that's no picnic there in Miami either. 76. Whew. Okay, since we're kind of in a holding pattern here, let me explain to you guys what the dry line is. Do you see this? You guys ever hear the dry line? This is the dry line right here. See it? All right, now how this forms. All right, so look at the dew point in Denver, 32. Look at Grand Junction, 18. It is bone dry here across the Rockies, okay, bone dry. So occasionally this dry air moves this way, okay? And as it moves from west to east, it encounters this warm, soupy air coming out of the Gulf. All right, see the high dew points out here? And so you get a collision of air masses here. This dry air, as it's pushing east, it undercuts this warm, soupy air and forces it to rise. And right here on the dry line, you end up getting huge, huge thunderstorms and a ton of severe weather. All right, that's what's meant by the dry line. It's this dry air coming right off the Rockies. All right, this line fluctuates. It goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And when it comes out like this, and you got all this muggy air here, boom, you get fireworks. All right, you get natural fireworks. That's what's meant by the dry line. All right, we obviously do not have to worry about a dry line. Thank goodness. All right, well, let's go back over to the radar. A lot of storms starting to fire up now. Here's a look at the movement. Let's see what else we can look at here. This is a hail tracker. This is what's called vertically integrated liquid. All right, while we're waiting, let me just show you some of the products that we have here. So this is the vertically integrated liquid, or VIL, and the brighter the colors on this, the better the chances are that you're picking up some hail. So look at this cell by Harrisburg. You see that bright purple here? That's almost at the top. You're definitely getting hail there. All right, and there could be a little bit of hail out there in this storm that was in Lower Bucks County earlier, but that looks like it's fizzling out. But again, this isn't a big hail-producing event here. This is really just straight-line winds, and it's also going to end up being torrential downpours. Let's go back over. This is storm total accumulation now. So that ever since the thunderstorm started, here's where we are. All right, let's go over to this one real quick. Right over Abington Township. It's about 3 inches of rain now. Bernathen to Abington Township. Remember, flash flood warning is up. Okay. All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for a little bit here, because this is still, I mean, it could be another 2 hours before this thing reaches Philadelphia. So you can see it's clearly starting to look very, very impressive out here to the west. So I'm just going to go for now. As this thing gets closer and the warnings start getting closer to Philadelphia, then I'll come back on. But for now, again, everybody is fair game to this. There's going to be thunderstorms popping everywhere, okay, over the next couple of hours. The primary threat here, the big concern, is going to be for strong straight-line winds, 60 to 70 miles per hour, and also drenching downpours could create flash flooding. These storms are going to be moving a lot slower tonight than the ones that we saw last night and the night before. All right, so it's a dual threat tonight, flash flooding and strong straight-line winds. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, got to remember how to do this. All right, I figured it out. I'll be back in a little bit, and when the weather starts getting a little crazy closer to home here, I'll hop back on, okay? All right, I'll see you then.